Hello, I'm Scott. I'm the breathing guy. I will train you to locate, generate, activate core key energy in physical activity. Welcome to Parkinson, meditative, soft Tai Chi and Qi Gong exercise approach to increase your breath range, to increase your range of motion, have greater muscle tone, and even strength. This video series is the second one, and it's starting to deal with the breathing itself, core breathing, and how I want you to develop that in relationship to hip. Now, quick review. There's 5 awareness points that you have to be aware every time you're going to do any of the exercises, and I argue any exercise. First is, number 1 is hips, how you place your hips. Second one is feet. Third one is head. Fourth one is hands. And the last awareness is how you core torso breathe. I want to exercise, this exercise is the development of the lower core, which is from the belly button down, to use the upper core and the whole torso, how to make the whole torso oscillate, go in and out like a bellows, how to make your stomach go in and out like a bellows to bring air in, pause. Now, there's 4 points of breathing. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Each one of those points has an energy effect on your body where your mindfulness can affect your body. Your mindfulness interact with your energy and physical being and during that space of time. Now, let's go first on how to get to breathe, how to develop your breathing. This is an exercise you have to do. It takes practice and be aware. Developing awareness. Now, the number one thing people do, the number one characteristic that people do that limits breathing range, that's the amount of air you can bring in, and that's the amount of air you can even exhale. It almost freezes your whole body up. It's stress in shoulders and muscle tension from overuse. When you don't use the core as your main source of force to move, you will use your shoulders. It's like a backup system. You will fatigue out the muscles if you use them too much from lifting weights or even walking. This is what makes the lower core weak. Now, there's 2 points here. Understand there's a lower core and an upper core. Lower core is from the belly button down. Upper core is from the diaphragm, and the third chamber of breathing is the chest up here. So you have lower, middle, and upper. Those are the 3 areas that you can create your breath. It's like aging. When you first start, when you're born, you start here in the lower core. When you get middle age, you use diaphragm. When you get old age, you use chest. So as your breath range goes down, so does your endurance goes down, so does your strength goes down. So here's an interesting point. Everyone that is born starts the breathing the same way. Everyone starts to do core breathing by moving the belly button out and affecting the lower core, not the chest. We all start that way, then we change. That's the reason why everyone breathes different, because the way you breathe is a reflection of your emotional, physical reality. Example, if you have high stress and overuse tension in your shoulders, and you're always like this up, your breathing rate short, that's another part. But if someone is an athlete with soft shoulders, fluid, they'll breathe another way. If you're angry all the time, if you're happy all the time, these are just characteristics because the breath supports whatever emotional, physical reality you have. Now, on the beginning of learning core breathing, the way is a baby. Now, several other ways to breathe, and this is a starting point to play with. You just don't do what I tell you. I need you to play so you get the experience. I need you to experience what I'm talking about, not just doing it. You have Parkinson's, and this area here in your torso goes weak because of the shaking or other characteristics. It really limits you. How can you calm yourself down? One of the characteristics I think that would help your Parkinson's be less shaky, you have better control of your body, you're more connected to your physical, is the softer you get. Like I said, the title of this is Meditative, that's breathing. Soft. Purpose of this is to soften the whole body, make the energy flow. So the less tension you have, the energy flows better, less buildup involved. And then you got the exercise of either a Tai Chi or Qi Gong method. I'm very heavy into Qi Gong. I'm very optimistic. Based on Qi Gong's ability to affect your energy through breath, through methods, I argue you can influence your state tremendously. You'd be amazed what you can do on that. I'm just not going to bring, for Parkinson's, I'm not just going to bring one dimension. I'm going to bring in a lot of different ideas and concepts that you can test, try, because everyone's different. I don't know what stage of Parkinson's you're in. I don't know, but a starting point is a starting point, and it's dealing with breathing. I don't care if you're laying down in bed, or I don't care if you're still walking really good. I will go through a whole series, and the chair is a good beginning to learn to breathe from here. Taking the time to become aware of your breath, how you're creating breath, and how do you move in the breath. The two words I really like is one is awareness. You need awareness first of what's your range, what you're doing. You don't hurt yourself. What's your limitation? What's your barriers? Finding your barriers at this stage is the name of the game. You don't want to push past the barriers. It won't help you. But you want to reach them, and if you want to say at this stage, the beginning is, it doesn't go any farther. Whatever barrier level is, it doesn't deteriorate any farther. That's one. And next is mindfulness. What is mindfulness? In this approach here is mindful of your breath affecting your energy that affects your body. Those are the process right there. So you have these two words, because the mind comes aware to know your boundaries, and then you have mindfulness to direct your energy. And all that you produce from your, if you want to say your core, through the breath itself. Involved. This isn't simple. So the first thing we're going to do, remember I said, the 5 aware points, hips. And I'm sitting on a chair, look at my feet, make sure the feet are pointing straight ahead. And now I want you to push back so your hips have no arch. In other words, your tailbone, everything up, and then you can bring your shoulders back, bring your hands back so your head can have virtually a straight spine. If your neck's forward, it limits your breath. Everything I'm doing now is shaping the body so you can have the greatest your core and torso range of movement. That's forward and sideways both. So the whole torso is engaged in different ways to bring in the most air, but then a release. Now, you always inhale through the nose. We'll go through a series of that, how to inhale through the nose. But the exhale, there's 2 ways to exhale. One through the mouth and one through the nose. Each one process has a different effect, and playing between the two depends on your purpose. You have to be aware enough which one would be the most effective. Exhaling out your mouth, you can make your shoulders softer. Exhaling out your nose, you can make the whole body softer. So playing between. Now, how do you exhale? Out the mouth is like you're smoking a cigarette, playing a trumpet, or almost like you're almost listening. And watch your tongue. Your tongue comes into play here. How you use your tongue while you're doing this affects your jaw, affects your shoulders. Making your shoulders soft is the first goal. And then the second goal is not use your shoulders while you're lifting anything or movement. You use your core, learning how to use your core. Now, moving the core, the front part of your core, you have what's called the Dan Ten. That's a term, your beginning point for energy. And then you got your glutes, lower glutes. It's actually the technical term you want to engage to start all physical strength is the piriformis muscle. So it's at the base of the glutes, and you're going to squeeze those and muscle and move it. You're going to move those with it. So this stomach, belly button comes out. This muscle down here at the bit comes up. As your exhaling goes down, that muscle goes down. So you're moving between the front and the back. That generates strength and energy. This is the energy part. This is the strength part. If this goes weak back here, you start to use your shoulders more. That's the key. And if this area below the belly goes weak, that limits your walking ability, everything about it. So toning muscles is the beginning. 2, I'm going to use the term myofascia sometimes. And what fascia is the connecting material through here. And if it gets tight, it congests up there. You're not going to have any range. It's going to be very limited what you're. So I'm going to give a whole bunch of hip exercises, so using the breath so you can have range of motion there. Myo means muscle, fascia, myofascia. So affecting the fascia so you have range of muscle, and then strengthen the muscles. So two different functions. But the connecting material, the definition of fascia is the connecting material through here. And if it gets congested, forget it. You're not moving too well. And the whole goal part of this process that you have to do is softening that fascia so you get range of motion. And I will go into how to do that. So you have the experience to it. This is a process of getting an experience. So what I want you to do is play with what I say. Don't just do. You do what I start off doing what I say. Then just ask you, what if I do it this way? What would be the experience? What would be that? So you're actually learning to be aware of your boundaries, what works for now, what doesn't. But this is based on Qi Gong and both Tai Chi. Qi Gong is for internal force. Tai Chi is more for external expression and range of motion, toning muscles. But they both require movement, both require engagement. It's just different and give you greater range, what you can do to work the whole body, the torso, the hands. Now, number one aspect, the core is the source of your energy, strength, and as a source, as a generating force, where do you want to project it? Where do you want the mindfulness to project? Is feet, hands, and head. So here's the rule. The feet should move the legs. The hands should move the arms. You do not want the legs to move the feet. You do not want to have the arms move the hands. Now, this is an energy concept. This is a Qi Gong concept. Tai Chi, both. And it's a sensation of directing your energy in space and time. That's the best way I can put it at this stage till you get the experience. So everything I'm working with is the feet, hands, core, and head. How to release stress in your shoulders and how to use the core and not your shoulders so you don't fatigue the muscles out. You fatigue these muscles out, you already fatigued your core out. If you don't use the core, atrophy kicks in two different ways. One is the fascia material, and the other way is the atrophy of the muscles. So understand that challenge. This is about challenge. I don't care if you have Parkinson's, I don't care if you're old or whatever. Life is a challenge to deal with to get the most of realization that you can get out of yourself. Your gift. You have a gift of life. Use it, learn it, realize it. And Qi Gong offers. You can go to YouTube, type in Qi Gong Masters, and see what I'm talking about. There's a couple really good ones that describe energy movement. You can see what they can do. I like this one guy in Malaysia. You ever run across him? He is really good, what he can do. And projecting energy. If you can project your energy in a certain way and with certain characteristics, your healing ability increases. There's a lot of intricacy. It's a whole new area that you can check out. You have to develop. It's based on you, not anyone else. Learning the techniques gives you. So the first thing you're going to do, understand, you're going to push the belly button out at a 30-degree angle, approximately, but down. Never straight out. Down. And then exhale, pull it, and then pull it in by pulling your glutes, the lower glute, down. So the belly button curves in at a 30-degree angle, approximately. So then pause. So there's 4 parts to a breath. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Inhale brings energy in, pause holds energy, exhale is the release. Exhale releases the tension of your shoulders. Exhale releases the emotions. Then a pause, you have emptiness. Emptiness is a state that is absolutely wonderful for clarity, because your emotional range is extremely limited when you're totally exhale and you're pausing. Your clarity factor on what is valuable comes in to play. So the first thing I do, now watch my hands. Your hands like that. I want you to put your hands like so. Now bring your hands back a little so your elbows are down, and then bring your elbows out so that way your chin can, so your back can be. 2, you want to pull forward. You want to push so your hips go back, just so you have no arch. You're sitting back, so keep a little tension going out. So you're sliding just a little, so your hips can stay, so you can move them. So the muscles, which you're sitting on, well, when the stomach goes up, it comes up. When the stomach goes in, it pushes down on us. You almost can go up. You can watch me. I'll watch my stomach go. So you got movement all through the below the belly button in the core area. You're also engaging your feet. This is all about breath range. How to use your feet to increase your breath range. How to use your hands to increase breath range. Believe it or not, you can limit your breath by how you shape your hands and use your feet. So I'm going to give you, and this is experience, so you can test it, feel it, and realize it. So the first thing I want you to do, now watch my hands. You're here, you're like this, and I want you to squeeze the thumb and little finger. Just a little bit, just tight. Now drop your shoulders. Drop. So long as you have tension, if you want, with the other fingers, you can bring them up and just like touch them into your leg a little bit. On an inhale, you're soft. On the exhale, I want you to squeeze just a little bit more between the thumb and little finger, and the other fingers sort of stay fluid, low. The goal is to become fluid. The goal is to become fluid and soft. Never think of relaxing. Relaxing is weak to me, but being fluid means things flow, things move, and you have to start here. You have to use down here, not here. So quick review. Our goal is to release stress and muscle tension with the exhale. How to inhale through the nose, how to exhale out the mouth and the nose with the awareness, 1, and mindfulness to change your shoulders tension and stress to make them soft. So as your shoulders come down, your range of motion will come in your breathing. Your breathing will get more enhanced. That's how you know. So this is called mindfulness. The more awareness of your breath coming through your nose and breathing, the more you're into mindfulness. The power of the breath, the engagement of the breath is the whole focus of the beginning video, and then how to direct it in movement. Remember, the feet moves the legs, the hands move the arms, and it's an experience I'll get you to have in time. It's natural. Everything I'm doing is natural, but the breath, creating the breath, is the #1 focus of my program right at this time. So inhale, pause, exhale. Now put a little pressure so your hips go back, so you have as you're doing so, push your belly button out. Don't have to go fast. If you need to pause halfway, drop your shoulders. Inhale a little bit more. As your shoulders come softer, you'll find you can push your stomach out. Then pause, exhale. As you're exhaling, pull your toes up, but still keep on the ball, pushing a little back so your hips stay. And as you pull your belly button in, pause, soften your jaw. Exhale a little bit more. Out your mouth. Suggestion, when you first start out, when you exhale out the mouth, like you're blowing a flute or smoking a cigarette particularly, you can soften your shoulders faster. Out the mouth affects basically the shoulders, the upper body. Exercise out of the nose affects the lower body and the body itself, the whole body. So changing from exhaling out your mouth, then to the nose, comes in the process, and playing between nose and mouth to affect the shoulder tension, the stress, and the rest of the body is the name of the game. And everyone's different. You play. It's like playing a different instrument. But you go between the mouth and listen to it go. Bring your lips together. Create a little resistance. Bring your tongue different places. Almost like you're whistling. And your shoulders can come down. And focus your awareness to let them come softer, softer. And you'll feel your weight on your glutes, on the seat more. 2, always make sure the knees, the feet, are going down at a slight angle. You're a little like this, so be high enough where you're not like this, you're not like this, you're a little like this on your here. So it's going down just a little bit. Use your toes. When your stomach comes out, the toes go down. When the stomach pulls in, the toes go back. You actually use the toes. Actually, I'll give you, this is advanced, so don't try too hard. When you goes down, they come together, squeeze. And when you're exhaling, they open up. If you can pull the exhale, pull your stomach in, pull, and spread your little toe and big toe apart, and then you hold it for a count of 5. So there's 2 types of breathing in a sense of range. You got offset breathing and meditative breathing. Difference is this: meditative, as fast as you inhale, is as fast as you exhale. Active breathing is you inhale fast and you exhale long. It's like singing. Singing is an active, where you inhale quick and you exhale long with the voice. Same with playing a clarinet or any woodwind instrument. So understanding the difference between active and meditative. So right now we're doing meditative, and so I don't want you to go fast, so just inhale, exhale. Blow out the mouth. Soften. Bring awareness to your shoulders. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Let the shoulders drop. Reshape your body. Feel the glutes up. Feel the belly button out. Now exhale. This is awareness, finding your boundaries. Squeeze as you're exhaling, squeeze the thumb and little finger together, just a little bit on your leg. Pull the toes up. Push it out. Pause, shape your torso, shape your exhale, release. Pause. Drop shoulders. Now exhale a little bit more. Pause. Have your toes up. Now soften your whole body. Soften your shoulders. Now inhale, pushing the belly button out, pulling up on the glutes. Soften your fingertips. Think of soften your fingers while you're holding your leg. Exhale. Pause, shake it loose, exhale some more. Pause, shake your shoulder, soft. Pause, move if you need, soften down, soften your shoulders, shape your body, bring your head. Now exhale. Pause, shake it loose. What I did is in the middle, I don't care, as you're exhaling, go pause for a second, shake it loose, or just relax, and continue. The softer you can make it up here, the longer you're going to exhale. Always remember the exhale is the release of energy. After you exhale a while out of your mouth, then you can go a couple times with the nose. So it's inhale, pause, set your fingers on your leg, set your toes, squeeze down a little bit, pull up on your glutes, and then always start here. Soften this first, then as you be aware, hips, then through the whole body. Just don't try the whole body. Always go through the shoulders, hips, and body. That's the process. If you want to really that's my process. I find it works. Squeeze your thumb and little finger. The other fingers are soft. Now, what I do is my feet. You don't have to do this one. Like I said, engaging your feet is a real good conditioning. I don't care what state you are. Laying down, always engage your feet with the core movement for breath. So what I'm doing is inhaling. I'm bringing my heel up, pressing on the ball of my foot, and having my toes go in. As I'm exhaling, my heels come down, my toes go up. But I keep the ball. Now later on, if you want, then you can pull up the whole foot to exhale even farther. I'm just going in stages. That's the higher level. When you first start, keep the ball, keep the pressure, and down, just pull the toes back. That strengthens the toes. A lot of people don't understand it. You get weak toes, you got weak balance. That's a must. The toes coordinates and also makes then your whole foot's flat. And pushing back a little bit so you can keep your hips in position. Remember, the hips position is very important. Next exercise, do that 25 times or more, whatever. So it's always right at this stage, soften it, and then do 10 or whatever out the nose. Even out the nose, you start up here with your breath, like a quarter of your breath or even your whole breath before you first. Always exhaling first the shoulder, then feel your hips soften, so you're melting down, and then your whole body at the end. And then pause. Move a little bit, feel, become aware. The more aware you are, the more you can direct your mindfulness to move your energy and strength through your body. It's a whole different sensation, moving energy through your body. Next stage. To get you to understand using the core and picking things up by using your breath. Everyone says when you lift something up, well, people reach down, pick up a shoe or something, they're not going to bend for it, they're just reaching down. How do you reach down so you don't use your back here to pull up, is use your core. So this is an exercise for that. So have your spine and head straight. So what you're going to do is inhale, push your belly button out, press down on the toes a little bit, just right now, just ever so slightly. Pause. And then as you're exhaling, soften your shoulders. Pull your stomach in, pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. Pause. Now when you want to come up, you inhale by pushing your belly button out. You just push it out and down, and your whole body will come up. You go, inhale. Press on the ball of your toe. Then you inhale, head up a little bit, pull your toes up, back straight, back straight. I don't care if you go halfway, but keep the back straight. You don't arch the lower back. You're bending. Now inhale. Don't move until your stomach moves you here. You're moving down here at your belly. That brings your shoulder up. Learn not to use your shoulder. It takes a while because you're going to do this standing up eventually. As you press on, and as you're exhaling, soften shoulders, soft, pull the belly button. Slowly pause, soften down. Reshape, make sure your spine is straight at the hip. The softer you go, the lower you can go. Pause, soften. Prepare to come up. Inhale. Do not move. Do not pull it until the stomach moves you. And that's this area through here. Pause. Now nose. If you need to be fluid, need to move, go ahead. But this is it. So you have your feet apart. So you go here, and remember, your back is straight, head, and you go straight down. Now, some people might go just here before they have to curl like that. You don't want to do that. You want everything straight, and that's it. Then push your stomach out. When you push that out, you're going to activate down here, the hip flexor, and that will bring your body up, your chest up. It's a sensation. This is just the beginning to get you to use the core to pick things off the floor, lean down. As you're going down to reach out, you're exhaling, and then when you're coming up, engaging your breath and your movement in everyday life. When you sit down, when you're ready to come up, you inhale, press the ball, then you stand up. Don't just try to stand up, but use the core, not your shoulder. Here's a rule, absolute rule I found. I haven't seen it. If you don't use this area, the core, you're going to use your shoulders. When you fatigue the muscles out, and then when you do stress out, it amplifies the limitations of having tight shoulders in breathing, in feeling range of motion. You got tight shoulders, your range of motion is limited. Your torso is limited. Everything's off balance. The hips have to be in position to give you the best balanced range of movement. But if the shoulders are tight, that limits everything. So not using it. So that's an experience. So that's for a while. Now, another exercise you can do on the same principle. This is a little different. Now we're going to start movement a little bit. So what I want you to do is inhale, turn. Now the hips stay still, and so you turn your shoulders, maybe at a 30-degree or 20, you find out so you don't hurt it. And you go like over the knee. So pause, soften shoulders. Then you move back to center. Now come up, inhale. Push stomach out. Always with your exhale, soften, pull your toes up a little bit. Squeeze the little finger and involve. Again, inhale, turn. So what you're doing is turn your shoulders and your hips tight. You don't want to turn your hips together. No, you want to create separation between hips and shoulders. This works the organs. This is a process. That separation is very important. If you play golf or any sport, that separation really amplifies your move. Tennis, any sport. So what you do is inhale, turn, pause, and now exhale. Now look at my chin, back straight. Pause, go to center. You always come back up center. Push your belly button out. Your lower cord. Keep your back straight. Now, if you want to amplify that coming up a little bit, here's a press on the, as you're coming up, press on the ball, but also squeeze your fingers. Just squeeze the arm. Don't worry about the arm. You squeeze your fingers, your thumb and little finger, especially the little finger into it, the other, you'll come up easier. So watch this. Inhale, pause, soft fingers. Now when you want to come up, you're inhaling. Squeeze the little finger and ring finger together into your leg. Through the nose, soften fingers, pull the toes up. You do that to start off with 5 times, 10. All the time, making this soft first, then you can make bottom. In the beginning, just focus on this, exhale, and then several times out the nose. Here's out the nose. Exhaling out the nose. Pause. Center. Soften your shoulders. No shoulders. Just push the belly button out and down. Belly button down, out. That will bring up. Pushing it down will bring you up. You will feel that you don't need the shoulders. Now remember, we live by habits. And the way most people breathe, use their body is a habit. Learning to not use your shoulders in movement as much, near as much, you're using the core, is learning a new habit. It comes natural. Eventually, it's like you're not going to even think about it. It's just natural. You just do it because it's a habit. That's why you see everyone move different, because it's a habit they have developed that they find effective. They learned as when they were younger, or situation. It doesn't matter. So you got just the natural, learning to breathe in and out. Then you got to over here where you can actually feel the pressure lifting you up. So when you're reaching down, you're exhaling, going down like you're picking up a piece of paper, like you're at something. Then you do not move until you feel the pressure bringing you up. That's an awareness sign. That's a beginning. And the softer you make the shoulders and upper body, you'll find you can move, you have less shakes, I believe. The softer, because energy flows instead of becoming jerky. And the jerkiness, I have a hypothesis, I don't know if it's accurate or not, is if you look at, you have a fascia issue as well as a muscle issue. You just don't have one issue, you have a mild fascia issue for Parkinson's. But if you soften the fascia down, the reaction of a muscle involved would be far less. But when you combine the muscle and fascia together, that is dynamics. That's what we do when we want to become forceful involved. So you got this action, you got two actions now. Going aside, going straight down as an exercise, working this area. If you're fatigued, do it, take a break, come back, do another 10 or whatever. But don't try to push yourself. It takes time for your mind to be aware of what's going on. You have to incorporate it, because I want you to make this a habit, not just do it. It's an experience too. You need time for your mind to say, I want to do it this way over that way. The next movement is basically your hands. This is how we're going to start figuring out how you get that expression where you don't use your shoulders to bring your hands up. Because you got to put energy. Now there's 4 parts to a hand. There's wrist, palm, finger, and fingertips. You have to work the fingertips. That requires the wrist to be soft. That's one reason. If your wrists are tight, no range of wrist in motion, and your ankles are tight, in other words, no ankle can't become loose, your breath rate is short. Your shoulders are tight. I can assure you your shoulders are tight. You have no wrist, they're like, they can't move. You can't shake them. See, look at my hand. I can loosen down shoulders. If you loosen your shoulders down, your wrist can come extremely fluid. I got the other exercises for that. In my other video series, I have another video other than Parkinson, my meditative, soft Tai Chi, Qi Gong. I just have meditative, soft Qi Gong, Tai Chi exercise for people without. But I'm specializing really. I got to teach this to them in another way, but it's the same thing. But everyone starts the same, but then we vary later on dealing with the issues of one's physical being in relation from a Qi Gong approach and a Tai Chi approach. And I do a Taoist heal aspect as well. So the range of possibility affecting your health, I argue, I have a great appreciation of what's possible. Finding what works, giving the smorgasbord of opportunities that's possible, is really challenging. But it's about you being physical, deciding and being aware of what works, what doesn't, and what changes. Being aware of change, learning your boundaries, your barriers, not boundaries, barriers so to your movement. Don't over push it. You'll hurt yourself, and hurting yourself will not produce the results you want. But the first thing you have to do to not hurt yourself, to get range of motion, you have to take the stress and muscle fatigue out of your shoulders by not using them and having an attitude that is positive. I'll give you suggestions on that, and I'll give you examples of that to alter your attitude. What's the function of the head? Is basically as a generator, as an emotional attitude generator that directs your physical energy through your body, because you're always expressing your attitude. Now, the definition of attitude is I have my own. Maybe someone else has something else. But mine is always about mind, body, breath. Brings the attitude. It supports the attitude, which is an idea, a learned aspect, a learned process. There's things that we all have naturally, and there's things that we learn within the culture. We all have a natural fear for survival. We all like love, and we all like to express happiness, be happy. We have to develop these things. There's sort of a degree of natural. Watch a baby when it's happy. He's smiling. He's really engaged. There's the basic forms right there. Or angry, or a feeling of hunger. Those are basic foundation things that we build our whole range of attitudes come from. So next one, bring your hands on your legs like this. Same principle. Make sure you put pressure so your hips are back, so you can use your core better. And now what I want you to do is see these fingertips going on, soften shoulders. So it's inhale, pause. As you're turning, soften the shoulder muscles. Make sure your head's in position. Exhale. As you're exhaling, pulling the belly button in. So I want you to do this again. Inhale. Turn, pause, tighten glutes up, make sure the glutes find your front, and then go out your mouth. Soften your elbows, soften your arm. Feel your fingers holding the arms up, the fingertips, and it's these three fingers, thumbs, involved to here. Now go to your little finger and ring finger more. If you want to go like this, turn. When you're bringing up, it's always the middle thumb. It's like pause, soften shoulders. Pause, soften shoulders. Pause, exhale. Pause, blow out your mouth. Pause, soften, soften it. Release through your hands, directing your breath out your hands. Turn. Inhale through the nose. Pause. Feel your core. Squeeze your glutes a little bit. Just squeeze the glutes a couple times. Glutes together. All tight, soft, tight, soft. Then keep them a little firm. Soften shoulder. So if more you feel your fingers bringing your hands up. Pause. Soften shoulders. Shape your body. Exhale. Pull your toes up. Pull that belly button, pull it, pull it. So you can vary between your exhaling and inhale out your mouth. But even on the inhale, when you're lifting up, go halfway with the inhale to the nose, pause, drop shoulders, let shoulders drop. So you can feel your hands weight in your fingers here, not in your arms. The more you feel your hands heavy, the softer your elbows, arms are, softer your shoulders are. Same here. You're going down and your fingers are preventing it going, not your arms. Not pause, soften, shape, feel your glutes. The more you feel your strength here at the base of the glutes is where you get your true form. That's what you want to move. This is a lot, I know. So break it down, takes one thing at a time, involved. Now here's a little technique. I want you for males, right on chest, left on top. For females, it's left on chest, right like this. And all you females, you can check this out. What it is male energy goes from left to right. Female energy goes from right to left. So when I do this, I'm taking my right energy that naturally flows across to my hand, and this affects my chest, my heart. This is a heart exercise, basically, involved. For females, if you don't believe me, males, try this. Put a left here and then like this, and then press down. Then switch and feel how your shoulders don't feel as loose. You can always tell if the energy is flowing good and right. Is across here is softer. When energy is flowing in the circular that you are, male and females are opposite. That's life. It makes balance, believe it or not. So understanding the way you position your hands on one on top of the other, it makes a difference. So what I want you for males is right on bottom, left on top. That's natural. Females the opposite. Now, I want you to get here, and I want you to pull down. In other words, when I say pull down, it's like you're dropping your shoulders, your head's up, position your hip. Inhale. As you're going down, exhale, pull on your chest like this, and then keep your chin out a little bit. You're going to get a stretch right through the hole here. That's the idea. You're stretching. Now, if you're going down here, feel your chin going back a little bit. Just go back a little bit, but don't let your chin pull back. Just like let your head. Then soften. Inhale. Press on the ball of your feet, toes. Push your belly button. Do not use your paws. Soften your shoulder. Then push out a little bit more. Exhale. Pull on your chest as you're exhaling. Soften down. This is another way of doing it. Inhale. Hold it. Bring your chin way forward. Soften shoulders, soften shoulders. So you got this exercise. You got going forward. In other words, you put your hands here. This is for you. Inhale, pause, exhale. Go down. Then, keeping your hips in position, you turn at the waist. So you have to have soft shoulders. You got tight shoulders, you're going to do this. The hip comes up. No, soften. If you can't, just pause for soft. So you can go at a 30 degree or 10, I don't care if it's 20. Then it's inhale, exhale. Out the mouth, soften shoulders. Pause. Center your head. Push your core, squeeze your glutes and let that bring you up. It's a new sensation so you don't fatigue out the shoulders, the upper body. That is the greatest reason why people get weak down here, is that they change from here for this earth up here, and it's a sensation experience. So you go side to here. Here, you got this, and this one here is like you're bringing energy in, soft wrist. Slowly turn, exhale. Or you can go like this. There's another way. Try this one. Inhale, pause, bring your shoulder blades together. Exhale. And as you're going down, pull your little finger and ring finger back up and bring your fingers together. When you're coming up, bring it like this. Open your fingers up wide. Spread your little finger. As you're turning, close, exhale. Pull your toes up, pull your toes up. Eventually you'll pull your whole foot, press on the heel down. That will tone the back of your leg. When you press on the ball, you work the thigh. When you press on the heel, you work the back of the leg. Because you're pushing the stomach out and in. This is about torso, how you expand this. This is basic, this is down here. How to use this to use physical force. A lot more involved. Now the last technique I'm going to show you is a meditative one you can use. Make sure your hips in position, you're moving here, and for males, it's left on top, right on bottom. For females, it's opposite. So what you're doing is the energy goes through my palm around like this. So when you're breathing, you can imagine as you're exhaling, going down here through your palm. Same with the woman. If you do this, men try this with the left arm about right, you'll feel, doesn't feel good. When you go this way, it feels better. Same with women. If you want to feel softer in the shoulders, it's the whole idea. And you make a little hollow noise. Hollow. Eventually, you're going to get heat in the palm of your hand for some of you by doing this. That's energy. And if it gets hotter and hotter, pull your hands apart like this. I've gotten it where I've actually gotten this far and they're heat. And you go slow. And when you get this far, you have to be really into your fingertips for energy. But right now, like this, it's always right on bottom, left on top for males, the opposite for females. And it's just inhale, push out, and then it's out your nose. If you want to do out through your mouth first to get your shoulders up, and your eyes are barely open. Some people, you can close them. Right now, you can close whatever fits best. Do not have. Soften your eyes. That's another area. Soft eyes, soft emotions. Easier shoulders, but not. It's all about shoulders, taking stress out of them, and fatigue. Understanding taking fatigue out is by not using it and using your core, not your shoulders for movement. Lifting the arms, lifting the body. This is basic. This is Parkinson meditative soft Tai Chi Qi Gong exercise. Basic for core, moving the core in and belly in and out 30 degrees, back and forth, 4 parts to breathing. Be aware of the 5 points. There's awareness of every time you sit up and why you're doing it. It's hips, feet, hands, head position so the spine can be aligned up. And then how you're breathing. How's the movement itself? Those are the 5 aware points. And the goal in the beginning is to soften the shoulders, making the shoulders soft, taking stress and fatigue out of the shoulders themselves. And you take the fatigue out is let the hands lift things up. Let the feet move things, not your legs. Those are the basic principles as an experience you will have in time doing these exercises. So have a good day, practice, do it slow, do it at different stages. Find your barrier. You can always extend the barrier sometimes, but at the beginning, find your barrier so you don't hurt yourself, so you realize what physical state you have to work with. Because you do. I don't care if you're laying down, you have a physical state. And then how can you develop it, work with it, and enjoy doing it. Enjoy the challenge. Enjoy the realization. Don't get cynical. There's no point. You have a smorgasbord of opportunities through Qi Gong Tai Chi, and you can do the research between food, herb, element, vitamin. There's so much possibility that maybe you have not explored to make your realization of your life better, to lower your suffering a little bit, or to let your suffering exist, but you're doing so much more with it. It's not one thing fits all. But the number one thing you have to do to get your breath range is shoulders. They have to come, no stress, emotional, and they can't get fatigued out because of overuse. That will make it where you don't use the core and the breath range ability. So have a good day and wait for the next video. I will go more elaborate, more exercise. I'll do this more on the next videos.